Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Toastmaster. I want to share with you my experience. I recently went on a painting trip with a fusion artist. His name is Rasuli. He's 70 years old, and he paints from the heart, not from what he sees or from his memories. He teaches his students. I'm one of his students to do the same thing. A year ago, someone from Czech Republic, a man, his name is Igor, contacted my teacher, whose name is Rasuli, and he told him that they found one of his paintings that called Freedom. Called Freedom. This is one of his paintings, and now they're using it as a logo for women's freedom movement. Mm-hmm. And they asked him if he can come and visit them because they wanted to meet him. Mm-hmm. So he went a year ago, and he had a fabulous time meeting painters there, and he wanted to bring us a year later, so we went. And we went first we landed in Austria, in Vienna, and Igor, this is Igor, he and his lovely girlfriend Misha, they met us at the airport with a bucket of tulips. Igor went around and gave each of us a tulip and said hello and gave us a hug. And with the laughter and the humor, he suggested that there was more tulips left. He said, let's give it to everybody, other people, random people at the airport. So we go around and give tulips to people at the airport. And some men were like in suit and ties. They were kind of perplexed. And they were like, no, why are you giving it to me? I don't want it. That was funny. So, and then we went to a tour in Vienna to palaces and art and museums for 2 days. And then we, in a lack of German, we ate the Wiener Schnitzel most of the time because there was a menu of the day. And all these Viennese delicatessens were hidden from us in a lack of German. And Wiener Schnitzel is a piece of thin pork, mostly battered and deep fried. Sometimes with potato and very rarely garnished with some green. and then we got on the bus. This is Rasuli. It's not very good bus driver, and he took us to Czech Republic, to a small village next to near Brno, which is 2.5 hours from Prague. We arrived to the village. It's a little village in the middle of nowhere, mustard fields around it. It was a beautiful scene. And I'll tell you one thing. So we arrived to the village, and Igor tells us that you're going to be blindfolded, and which felt kind of freaky. But he said, don't worry, we're not going to hold you as a political prisoners. The Cold War with Russia is over 30 years ago. So we walk blindfolded in the room, and they sat us down on the chairs, and I feel my feet are in warm water. Somebody is washing my feet, and somebody else is giving me light massage on my neck and the shoulder. And after that, they start chanting each of our names, and they were when they chanted my name, it felt like so welcoming and loving. It felt like I was welcomed into the world, like a newborn. Then after that, they took our blindfolds, and there we see like 40 or 50 people standing around in a circle, smiling and looking at us. Welcoming and loving. Then they all sat on the floor, and Igor started to play, and a beautiful woman, a blonde Eve, her name is Eve, she started to dance, and her dance was a freedom dance like Rasul is painting. And then they started to dance. And for 5 days we were dancing, and these are, by the way, those are Czech people dancing, and you're gonna see now a couple of American people from our group pretty soon. So, like, look, those are Americans. So I never knew that. Czech people are so hip and they really know how to party. They got up on the tables, and that's, by the way, that's Isabel. She was there too. I don't know, yeah. And so they are on the table partying. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I never danced on the table. So Larry came. My husband Larry, he came too. Although he's not a painter, but I'm glad he came because he had quite an experience as well.
Did he get up on the tabletop?
Yeah, eventually, yeah. It took time for me to warm up to get on the table. So then for 5 days we painted, and then they brought a huge canvas, 6 by 8, and all 40, 50 people we painted on one canvas, and painted and danced, and that's my paintings I did there. And that's Rasuli's paintings while he was there. And here all the group, most of the group in front of the paintings, the collective painting we did together. And then we got on the bus again, and yeah, the hardest thing was to say goodbyes, because to spend 5 days with those people, to learn about Czech people and about ourselves was quite an experience. And at the end, I used my speaking opportunity as a Toastmaster, and I gave him a little speech. I said, I'm so happy for you guys that you found a way to be free at your own home, because I was born and raised in Russia, and I had to leave and go to the United States to find my freedom. So I'm very happy that you can be free and you can be at your own home. And then we said goodbye, and I made like 40, 50 friends. We're all friends now on the Facebook. And then we went to Prague. That's the main square in Prague. And then in Prague we had good food, vegetables mostly, and grilled fish and chicken, because Igor could speak Czech, so he could accommodate us better. So that was delicious. And that's the clock, famous clock. It's moving every hour. It moves, and all these figures come out and dance. That was very good. Yeah, that's beautiful. Prague is very beautiful, architecture and museums. Then we went to modern museums. That's we're in modern museum, and then those are my husbands. Only one survived. And that's. I'm so glad that, although Larry didn't want to go at first, but he went because it brought us close together. Now we have memories to share and stories to tell. And I really, you have to decide for yourself if you want to go, because it's a fusion. Rasuli, he called it fusion tour, because he changed his mind all the time, and he would say, well, it's a fusion tour, now we're gonna go with the flow. So you may not get what you promised, but you get much more than you promised in unexpected things. And I really enjoyed it. If you're interested, you can talk to me more, or you can get on his website and find more about it.